Hi, and welcome to our program, KRPW Local Look, a local town government news program for Concord and Carlisle.
I'm Peggy Wargelin.
And I'm Carlin Reed.
And today we will look briefly at these topics. What's new with the Concord Select Board? And what did the Carlisle Board of Selectmen do at their December 10th meeting? Okay, let's dive into the first topic. What's new with the Concord Select Board? Well, they met on Monday night, January 13th, in the Select Board room at the Townhouse. The Select Board had a full agenda, as you can see. The Select Board began meeting with a closed executive session regarding the Estabrook Road litigation. Later, Chairman Mike Lawson reopened the meeting to the public and read the consent agenda, which included a long list of one-day special licenses for the Umbrella Community Arts Center and the Saltbox Farm. Concord's 2020 town meeting will consider a warrant article on additional liquor licenses that would eliminate the need for these select board votes at select board meetings. The select board approved the consent agenda and approved several sets of minutes. Next, they heard from the town manager, Stephen Crane. Crane said that the town clerk seeks volunteers for a 2020 census workshop on January 26th. He also stated that the municipal light plant is reviewing its draft budget. Lawson noted in his chair remarks that on January 27th, the town caucus will be held at the Townhouse hearing room, and the select board will meet to set the articles on the town warrant and to approve the town manager's budget. He also noted that Concord officials have been meeting with representatives from neighboring towns and the U.S. National Park Service to begin planning the celebrations of the 250th anniversary of the battles of Lexington and Concord. Lawson will bring a draft committee charge on January 27th to form a committee for the celebrations, primarily on April 19th and 21st, 2025. Easter's on the 20th. Lawson led the discussion about the town warrant update. He noted that 52 articles, including 9 citizen petitions, have been filed and certified by the town clerk. The 9 citizen petitions address electronic recording of select board executive sessions, posting open meeting law complaints, amending the town council bylaw, historic districts nominations, healthy school buses, municipal fleet electrification, and planned residential development, or PRD, application postings, signage, and a zoning moratorium on them. Lawson said the select board would decide at its January 27th meeting which of the 52 articles would be placed on the town warrant, as well as the order of the articles. The select board heard an update from Keith Bergman, the chair of the Affordable Housing Trust Study Committee, who presented the board with a revised proposed warrant article that reflected changes requested by town council. Then the select board discussed their 2020-2021 meeting schedule. Select Board member Jane Hotchkiss presented a rough draft charge for a new Transportation Advisory Committee, which would be appointed by the town manager. The purpose of this committee would be to address what Hotchkiss calls the town's transportation puzzle, and would include several town department heads for better coordination in this area. Hotchkiss will revise the charge to reflect the Select Board's initial input and bring it back to the Select Board in February. The Select Board approved a list of election officers and offered their committee liaison reports. Lawson observed that he had received some correspondence. Select Board member Linda Escobedo offered the committee nominations and public comments were received. The Select Board adjourned their meeting at around 8:30 p.m. The meeting's supporting materials are available online. This meeting was videotaped and can be seen on the town's YouTube channel and on MMN, Minuteman Media Network, TV Channel 9. Okay, that's all for tonight's update on the Concord Select Board meeting of January 13th. Now on to our next segment, what's new with the Carlisle Board of Selectmen? For this report, we turn to Carlin Reed, a local board watcher. Hi, Carlin.
Thanks, Peggy. Hi, how are you? The Carlisle Board had a full agenda at their December 10th meeting.
Let's hear the details.
On December 10th, the Carlisle Board of Selectmen met at the Carlisle Town Hall in the Clark Room. After a brief public comment session, the board heard from representatives of the Timber Nook program, which sought approval to use town forest land in the summer for a children's sensory nature program. The board approved the request. The board reaffirmed a town government policy regarding payroll procedures, but rejected a policy on fixed asset inventory as being superseded by federal law. Tim Goddard, the town administrator, gave his report and asked the board to declare the warrant open for Carlisle's April 27 town meeting. He noted that the percent of subsidized housing in Carlisle is 3.39%, and that Carlisle received a $7,000 safety grant from the Green Cemetery. Consultant Civic Moxie, which is handling the town's master plan, sent a questionnaire for them to fill out about their priorities, but the board wanted to have a public discussion with them instead. The board set a 2022 term for the new Open Space and Recreational Planning Committee. The board members gave their liaison reports and approved the revised minutes from their meeting of November 26. Next, the board opened a public hearing on a Verizon and Eversource pole relocation petition to provide service to an EV, electric vehicle, charging station at the Carlisle Public School. The board set a new public hearing date for December 20th to consider putting the electrical line underground, not overhead. The board also had a public hearing on a propane underground storage tank on River Road and approved the application with conditions. Then the board convened its joint 2020 annual town meeting coordination meeting with members from the Finance Committee, the Long-Term Capital Requirements Committee, and the Municipal Facilities Committee. This finance group is preparing its recommendation to the April town meeting about the warrant articles and asked the board for their spending priorities. Board Chair Kate Reed said it looks like the town's tax burden has increased about 30% over the last 10 years. The finance group said that the concept of a reasonable tax increase depends on whether the citizens' needs are being met. Carlisle's aging population probably will be more of a priority. Personnel decisions and employee retention benefits are also priorities, as are maintaining town facilities. Maintaining the town's service level will inherently raise the taxes due to external factors. Also, the warrant articles will build up the tax burden on top of the existing service level. Board member Barney Arnold said that the town's long-term master plan process is looking at the priorities of the planning board, the schools, and the library. These priorities will involve some choices. The finance group said some choices are not part of the master plan. For example, bids to renovate the police station came in above the funding allocation, and some repairs are needed now, regardless of the master plan schedule. More investment in maintaining town facilities is needed to prolong their use. The board noted that holding the line on staffing has promoted some efficiencies and cost savings, making do with what is there. Creating a capital stabilization fund from excess free cash was discussed. This could be used to fund facilities maintenance while smoothing the tax burden. Looking at the warrant, the finance group's high priority projects at this point would cost $807,000, with some funding possibly covered by grants. Carlisle will vote on the regional school district's funding request for a high school parking lot before Concord considers the matter. Carlisle's portion would be roughly $200,000. Another warrant item is a complete streets road project at $250,000, bringing the total for the warrant articles to roughly $1.3 million. The finance chair said that this is a 1.2% tax rate increase in the core operating budget before adding in the cost of living adjustments and the long-term debt. The finance group mentioned a proposed bylaw change that would merge the long-term capital committee with the finance committee, and the board members supported the change. After the finance group left, the board heard comments about a personnel request to reorganize the health department to improve special services and emergency response. Another health-related matter discussed was the cost of joining a regional mosquito control district and the consequences of not joining. The meeting was adjourned around 10 p.m., and the board's meeting materials are available on the town's website. This meeting was videotaped by Minuteman Media Network and is now available online. And that pretty much wraps it up, so Peggy, back to you.
Thanks, Carlin, for that report on the Carlisle Board of Selectmen meeting of December 10th. Well, that's all we have time for today on KRPW Local Look, your local town government news show for Concord and Carlisle. Please join us again when we look at another part of our town's inner workings, and let us know if you want to be part of future programs. Goodbye.